Hello everyone, welcome to Pilates with Ken's. Today I'll be walking you through a very beginner Reformer Pilates workout. I am about 5 months pregnant, so this is pregnancy friendly. And let me walk you through my Reformer. Now most Reformers that you see at studios these days, the newer ones have springs. Mine have cords. I have 2 black cords, a red cord, and a yellow cord. The black are medium, red is heavy, yellow is light. So as I walk through this routine, I'll let you know if we're on light, medium, or heavy springs or cords. I also use those 2 words interchangeably, so I'll say cords or springs, just depending. The studio that I teach at uses Reformers that have springs, so now I'm used to saying springs instead of cords. So don't let that confuse you. I use those words interchangeably. So let's get started. I'm gonna go on 2 black, so 2 medium springs. And every Reformer workout that I've ever taught or I've ever done, I start by stretching. So we'll stand up on the left side of the Reformer. We'll put our right foot up on that closest shoulder block. Our right knee is planted and our left foot is up by the deck. We'll start with some ease lunges. So we're pressing the carriage out. Exhale as you pull the carriage in. We're keeping our hips forward. Shoulders are down and back. Inhaling back. Releasing into the stretch. Exhale as you pull forward, coming into that neutral spine. Inhaling back. Let's do 4 more here. We want a neutral gaze as well. It's natural to want to tuck your chin under, so we're keeping that chin lifted. Let's do 2 more. Also bear with me, sometimes I repeat counting. So if you're on the other side and you said, you've said 4 3 times in a row, no. Apologies in advance. Last one. Let's do a few with our left leg straight. So we're gonna straighten that leg, lift the toes, same thing here. Even if your arms are on the foot bar, we don't wanna close in our chest. So we wanna keep the chest lifted. And a neutral spine, so you'll feel the stretch a little bit deeper along your hamstring here. You can fold forward, so we're hinging at the hips and we're not rounding out the back. Hinging at the hips, feel that stretch along the hamstring. We can also stay upright and feel that stretch along the front of the right hip. Same thing, exhale as you pull in, inhaling out. Last one here. Exhale, pull. Let's come over to the other side and we'll repeat that again. So now our left knee is planted, left foot is on that shoulder block closest to you, right foot is up by the deck. We're lunging back, now keeping this right knee bent. Right knee is stacked over that right ankle. Exhale, pull, come into that neutral spine. Neutral gaze. Inhale back. Sink into that stretch, keep those hips forward. Exhale, pull. Let's do 3 more here. We have a tendency to want to kind of turn in towards the carriage, so we want to straighten everything out and pull in. 2 more. Last one. Neutral gaze. Go ahead and straighten the right leg and lift those toes. We'll get a deep hamstring stretch here. So again, if we're leaning forward, we're hinging at the hips and we're not rounding the back. So keeping that spine neutral, just leaning forward slightly, not closing into our chest. Exhale, pull. The further forward your right leg is, the deeper your stretch will be. So if you have longer legs, you might need to scoot your right foot forward a little bit more. Let's do 2 more. Sink a little bit deeper in these stretches. Exhale, pull. Last one. Nice. Okay. We'll start with some footwork here. I'm gonna add a yellow, so a light spring. I'm on 2 mediums and a light. We will go into some single leg work. Otherwise, I'd be on 2 mediums and a heavy. So if you want to burn out your quads a little bit more, then I suggest going heavier. If you don't want to have to change springs when we go into single leg work, then stay a little bit lighter. So let's roll back in the most comfortable way for you, nice and slowly. You can have your headrests up for this if you'd like. I keep mine down. We're going to start on our heels, shoulder width or hip width apart, and our toes are going to be pointing straight up to the ceiling. I'm going to press out on both feet, slight bend in the knees at the top. We don't want to lock out and hyperextend, and exhale as we pull the carriage in. So we want to keep the toes pointing up almost as if we're pressing in and out of a wall. And exhale, pull. Our shoulders are wide, bra strap is heavy, lower back is imprinted, but not too imprinted to where we're tucking our pelvis under. So we still want that neutral spine, pressing down through our hamstrings. Exhale, pull. Inhale out, exhale, pull. 4 more here. Feeling the nice flexion in the ankles as you pull the carriage in. And 3. Engaging the core as we pull in. So ribs come down and in, belly button comes to the spine. Last one. Let's come onto our toes. All 10 toes should be on the foot bar, and we'll press in and out here. I do want to make note that I am pregnant. If you're a little bit further along than I am, I suggest getting a wedge so you're propped up a little bit more. If you don't have a wedge, you can use a pillow or a ball. I just purchased a wedge, so in my future videos you'll see me using a wedge more often. Sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable to lay on our backs for too long. 4 more here. Again, same thing, pressing through our hamstrings, keeping a slight bend in the knees at the top, neutral spine. Inhaling out, exhale, pull in, 3, and 2. Last one, we're gonna pull in halfway and we're gonna pulse up towards our head for 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On this last one, we're gonna extend all the way out again and do some heel drops, dropping those heels under the foot bar and pointing the toes. So we want this to be nice and slow. Sometimes in class, you'll see people going super fast. We don't want that. We want it nice and controlled under and nice and controlled point. Same thing here with your knees. We don't want to lock too far out, so just give a slight natural bend. All 10 toes on that foot bar. 5 more. Neutral spine. 3, 2, and now let's go into a combo. So we're dropping the heels, bending the knees, coming in. Inhale out, exhale, drop the heels, point the toes, pull the carriage in. So you're almost grabbing the foot bar with your toes as to properly engage and pull in. You're not letting the springs do all the work. Inhale out, exhale, drop, inhale, point, exhale, pull. Still focusing on the neutral gaze straight up. Sometimes we drop our chin and tuck into our bodies, so we want to make sure chin is nice and looking straight forward. I think I messed up on that last rep, forgive me. 3 more. Knees are still tracking over the ankles. Sometimes our dominant foot our leg takes over and our hips start to shift. Last one. Let's press all the way out onto our toes. From here, we're extending our left leg straight up to the ceiling. We're gonna flex both feet at the same time and point at the same time. We're here for 9 and 8, 7, 6, 5. Think, elongate that top leg, hips are heavy. 3, 2, 1. We're coming in, we're bending that right leg and lowering the left and extending the right, lifting the left up to the ceiling. Flexing that left foot down, pointing the left toe up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So we're scooping through the core to lift that leg. 6 more. And 5. Right knee is still tracking over that right foot. 4, 3, and 2. Last one, we're gonna keep it going on the right. We're gonna bend the left knee in and extend over the foot bar. Pull that left knee in and under the foot bar. If that's too much, you can just stay over. Looks like my mat is in the way of my foot, and that's okay, I might knock it over. Exhale, pull. Inhale, over. Again, here our hips and pelvis are not shifting back and forth. We're keeping this nice and controlled. Inhale, over. Exhale, pull. Inhale, under. Exhale, pull. 4 more. You should start feeling this in your right calf. 3. Right quad as well. 2. Last one. Over. And under. And rest. Let's pull the carriage all the way in. You can roll out your ankles. Give that right leg a break. Let's go right into the other side. So now we're working on the left. We're gonna extend all the way out on both feet, hip width apart. We're lifting the right leg up to the ceiling. We're going to flex both feet together and point together. So the left heel is dropping. So we're thinking elongate that right leg up to the ceiling. Hips are heavy and neutral. Lower back is imprinted. Bra strap is heavy, shoulders are wide. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're bending that left leg and lowering the right, flexing the foot down, pointing the toe up. Flexing the right foot down, pointing the toe up. Inhale down, exhale pull, and 6, 5, and 4, 3 more, 2, last one. Keeping it going on the left side, we're bending the right knee in towards our chest and extending over. Exhale, pull the right knee in and extending under. If under over is too much, you can just keep that right foot extending over the foot bar. Exhale, pull. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull. Feel the burn in that left foot, left calf. and 5. Trying not to hyperextend that left knee, and 4. And 3. Think elongate that right leg up and over. And 2. Last one here. Exhale, pull. Inhale over. Exhale, pull. Place that right foot and pull yourself in. Whew. Go ahead and roll out those ankles. And slowly make your way up. We'll do some arms. Now I'm gonna drop down to just 2 blocks. So I'm taking off that lightest spring. I'm on 2 medium springs. If this is too much, you can drop down to maybe 1 medium and a light or 1 heavy and a light. Really just depends on your reformer, your abilities. Make sure your straps are not crisscrossed. Oops. That must be for my yoga mat. I'll drop that down there. Let's put the headrests down if they're already up. Now for your legs, you can keep them dangling, but off of the ground a little bit. You can pull them off to the sides of the shoulder blocks or straight out in front. You choose, you can crisscross, but if you choose to crisscross, then you'll have to crisscross the other way halfway through. I find it most comfy on the outside of the shoulder blocks, but to each their own. We're sitting up nice and tall. We're fighting the urge to slump through our lower back. So sitting up nice and tall. The further forward you are, the less range of motion you'll have, so the easier it'll be. The further back you sit, the more range of motion you'll have, the harder it'll be. If you need a little bit less resistance, you can grab onto your foot loops without having to change your springs behind you. We'll start with some bicep curls. Palms are facing up, elbows are high. We're pulling in towards our face. And slowly inhale to release. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Now the higher the elbows, the harder it is. So if you need a little bit of a break, you can tuck your elbows in into your side. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull. Our wrists are nice and neutral. We don't want to kink up the wrists at all. And if you're feeling like you have to use your lower back to pull in towards your face, you need to drop down your springs. So we want to isolate this movement just into our biceps, upper body. Of course, keeping your core nice and tight. 4 more. Inhale down. Exhale, 3. Nice work. And 2. Fighting the urge to slump through your lower back. Last one. And rest. You can round out your back. Sometimes that feels nice. We're gonna do some straight arm plows, straight back. So, leaning forward slightly. We're pulling our arm straight arm back, and then slowly coming back, straight arm down. Exhale, pull. Inhale, return. Exhale, press. Inhale, return. Let's go 5. And 4. Same thing with your spine, nice and neutral. Try not to drop your neck. 4. Exhale, 3. And 2. Last one. Slowly return. Roll those shoulders back. We're gonna crisscross the straps. Same thing here, trying to fight the urge to slump through our lower back. So we're sitting up nice and tall, straight through from the crown of our head to our tailbone. Arms are lifted. We're pulling our elbows high and wide. Wrists come to the chest. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Notice how I'm, again, not using the lower back to pull. We're just using our upper body and our arms, keeping the core tight. 6 more. Sometimes the dominant arm takes over on these, so we're trying to pull up and back evenly through both arms. 4 more. And 3. Now, even though our chest is opening up, we still want the ribs locked down and in. And 2. Exhale, pull, last one. We'll hold it here and we'll pulse back and back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and return. Round up the back if that feels nice. Last one here, we'll do our bow and arrows. So sitting up nice and tall, neutral spine. Arms come straight out in front. We'll start with the right side, pull the right elbow down and back, twisting the upper body, following that right arm and pressing the left arm forward. Inhale to return. Exhale, switch sides. So now the left elbow comes down and back, right arm reaches forward, and inhale to return. So we're doing a 2-way stretch here, using those side obliques to help pull us over and to return. Down and back, reach forward, and return. Again, if you're using your lower back to help pull your arm back, you need to drop springs and focus on form. Exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Exhale. And 5 more. You should feel this in your sides, in your arms, of course, and in your core. 3 more. Notice how the gaze is following the upper body. 2. Exhale, pull, last one. And inhale, return. Okay, I'm gonna hook the straps onto the shoulder blocks. A lot of reformers or newer reformers have holes here so you can hook the straps. We'll turn around and we'll lie down again. I'm staying on my 2 medium springs, so my 2 blacks. Slowly lower yourself back down onto your back. And then re-grab the hand loops off of those shoulder blocks or off of the pegs. We'll just do some upper body core work first, and then we'll end with feet and straps. Arms come straight up towards the ceiling, legs come into tabletop. Now, if your hip flexors are starting to bother you, you can tuck your knees into your chest a little bit more. Otherwise, we're here, neutral spine, lower back is imprinted, ribs are down and in, bra strap is wide, bra strap is heavy, shoulders are wide. Knees tell I do this a lot. We're pressing our hands down and towards our side and lifting back up to the ceiling. Inhale up, exhale, press. Again, if you're further along in your pregnancy and you need a little bit of a prop because it's uncomfortable to lay on your back, go ahead and get a wedge or a pillow or a ball and prop yourself up. Exhale, press. Inhale up. Like I said earlier, you'll see me in future videos with the wedge. It's just on its way. Let's add some legs here. You can also add some head and shoulders, and I'll show you both ways. So as we press our arms down, we'll extend the legs over the foot bar. The lower the legs, the harder this gets. So if you need to, you can kick your legs straight up to the ceiling, but we don't want to compromise form. If you're lifting through the head and shoulders, extend the legs out, coming back to starting. Now, if you're pregnant, you want to be aware of not coning through the center of your core. So we're really properly engaging. Exhale, pull, and then go ahead and lift and extend. If that's too much, then we won't lift head and shoulders and we'll just extend the legs. Oftentimes we do things because we can, not because we should. So while I can extend out and lower the legs, if I'm not aware, I'm going to start coning through the center of my core, which I don't want. So we're lowering the arms and lowering the legs, extending the legs at the same time. Let's do 3 more. And coming back. 2 more. Last one. And find that neutral spine. You can place your feet on the foot bar and rock side to side. We'll take a little bit of a break. We'll do 1 more core exercise, and then we'll move to feet and straps and be done. We'll do another classical Pilates move, which is single leg stretch. This time we're going to tuck our elbows in towards our sides. Legs come up into tabletop, finding that neutral spine, lower back's imprinted. Let's start just with our arms. Engage that core, pressing the hands into the carriage, keeping those wrists neutral. Inhale, back up. Exhale, press. Inhale, lift back up. I'm going to try to keep the elbows locked. Exhale, press. Inhale, lift. Let's do 1 more here with no legs. Inhale, lift. So for the legs, we're extending 1 foot over the foot bar at a time, elongating that leg, hips are heavy, coming back to start, and then extending the other leg out. Inhale out, exhale, pull. If you'd like, you can lift head and shoulders. Exhale, pull. Inhale. Exhale, pull. Again, if head and shoulders is too much, you can keep them down. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So if you're sacrificing form, be very aware. And let's do 3 more. Elbows locked. 2. Lifting a little bit higher through that core. Last one. And rest. Go ahead and put the foot loops on your feet. And we'll end with a little leg and foot and strap moment and a little bit of a stretch. When we do these lower and lifts, we want to keep the pelvis heavy. So both legs moving together and we're not shifting the hips back and forth. Arms are strong by our sides. We're pressing those feet down and exhale as you lift the feet up towards the ceiling. Flex those feet down. Point the toes up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Right now is where your dominant leg takes over, so make that mind-muscle connection where both legs are pressing down together and equally and lifting up together and equally. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Let's do 4 more. Exhale, lift. And 3. We're lifting just high enough to right before your hips want to lift off the carriage. So if I were to stretch and lift, I'm compromising my lower back now. So we want to lift just before that tailbone lifts. Again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. 2 more. Last one. Sometimes it calls for lifting the hips up off of the carriage, like in long spine. Right now, that's not the intention. Let's go into capital D's, or leg circles. So we'll start by pressing the legs down together. Inhaling down. Exhale, pull those legs into a split, out and around. Connecting the legs at the top. Again, we're coming just right before the hips lift off the carriage. Inhaling down. Exhale, pull the legs out and around together and glue at the top. Let's do 3 more in this direction. Releasing the hips open and pressing down through the hamstrings and the heels. 2 more. Last one. Pulling out and around, connecting back up at the top. Now let's reverse. So now we're pulling the legs apart into that straddle, leading with the heels, pulling through the inner thighs, connecting the heels at the bottom, and exhale, lift up towards the ceiling. Again, stopping right before the pelvis and hips want to lift off of the carriage. Pull the legs apart, connect the heels at the bottom, exhale, lift. Inhale, let's do 3 more. Exhale, lift. And 2, again, flexing those feet down, connect the heels, pointing the toes up. Last one. Exhale, lift. We'll end by doing some single leg work here. So let's remove the left strap. You can hold on to it or hook it on the peg behind you. If I were to hook it on here, this reformer is very noisy, so I'm just gonna hold onto the strap. Let's pull both legs into tabletop. We're gonna keep the left leg in tabletop. Right foot is doing all of the work. So we're extending that right foot out, and then exhale, pull the right knee into your chest. Left leg stays still. Exhale, press. Use that glute and hamstring to press that right leg out. And since we're isolating movement just on this right side, we have a tendency to shift our hips, So we're keeping everything nice and locked onto that carriage. Lower back is imprinted, ribs are down and in, core is engaged. 4 more. And 3. Inhale out, exhale, pull. And 2. Last one. Nice. Let's switch feet. So we're hooking the left and now grabbing the right. The right foot or right leg stays in tabletop. The left leg does the movement. Inhaling out, exhale, pull, scooping through the core. This reformer is mad at me if you can hear the squeaking here. Sorry if that's loud. Inhale out, exhale, pull. 5 more. And 4, trying not to hyperextend and lock out that left knee. 3, squeezing through the glute and hamstring, leading with the heel. 2 more. Need some WD-40 on here. Last one. Exhale, pull. Let's go ahead and hook both feet again just for a quick stretch. We'll extend both legs up to the ceiling and pull down on the straps. You can lift your lower back and hips slightly, but just be cautious, be careful. You can flex your feet, point your toes here. Let's pull down and out into happy baby, and you can shift back and forth if this feels nice. Go ahead and take those straps off. You can drop them or hook them, whatever your reformer calls for. We'll slowly roll up into a seated position. Let's roll the shoulders back a couple of times. Release the tongue from the top of your mouth. Release your jaw. And forward. Roll out the neck, nice and slow in one direction. And switch, nice and slow in the next direction. Come back to center. We'll pull our arms out to the side, connect our palms overhead, and pull our hands in front of our hearts. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. I can't believe that this was my first ever reformer video. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the mic'd up version, and I hope there's no technical difficulties here. If there are, I guess we'll fix them as we go. Anyway, if you liked this video, like and subscribe, share, do whatever you can to help me keep this page going. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.